Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth. Flipper, there's not much light out here and I got a bunch of stuff that I got to do tonight. I think we have 25 items headed out of here, which is quite a bit, so we're going to go fast through them. And I want to just touch on one topic, and that is somebody made a comment the other day on a video. I had mentioned that you can make about $50,000 a year in working 20 hours a week, and somebody thought that that was absolutely ridiculous. Matter of fact, they said anybody says that, they're a liar. I thought, what better way to decide that and put it to a lot of you out there? And we're going to talk about a little bit about that today, but we got a bunch of sales. Let's go take a look. Like I said, I want to get to this topic. And like I said, the comment that I made was 20 hours a week, $50,000 net profit a year. And I'm going to stand by that. I have, personal experience with it, but it's not even an opinion. It's a fact. And I know many people who do that. I'm not saying it's easy, and it's not the same for everybody, for sure. And there's far better ways to do it than what I'm talking about right here and what I do. But here's the first sale. It's one of the smallest sales I have of the day, actually. It's $12 plus shipping. You see, that one is damaged. The rest of them look like they're in good shape. Well, that one's got a little damage on it too. But it is, it says 1964 on it, but that's probably a copyright. Taiwan Batman pencils. This is probably made in the 80s. And these right here, so for $12 plus shipping. Not exactly the kind of thing you want to sell all the time in order to make 50 grand, but easy as could be. They were incredibly slow sellers, though. They've been sitting here for over a year, but I think they're awesome. I'm going to mix in this conversation throughout the show because I've got, like I said, 25 things that I need to get to today. Had to turn the camera around because I thought that helmet was on the other side, but it is right here. Centurion helmet. Vintage, and a lot of old helmets do really well. I don't like to sell modern ones. I like to sell collectible ones more than anything. And this one was in pretty darn good shape. Look at that. And I don't remember what I picked it up for. I want to say 10 bucks, but it sold for $65 plus shipping. One of the criticisms that I get when I talk about this topic and I talk about how much actual net profit can you make, well, there's a bunch of different factors that go into it, obviously, and I want to talk about them today. I got to get this ladder because I sold some on the top shelf. One of the things I get as criticism is that I have social media and that viewers buy from me. And that is somewhat of a legitimate criticism, but I want to kind of dispel those ideas and just kind of take it out of that realm for a second. Pepper just got up there. And talk about it in regards to some of you out there, because I've had many conversations with many of you, both in the comments and on emails and in person. And I just got back from an event where there were tons of resellers who don't have social media, and I always ask them these kind of questions. This one, by the way, is pretty sweet. It's not perfect, obviously, but it's in pretty good shape. I think it's been redone, repainted, and I'm trying to think of I'll tell you what, I'll just look at the listing to tell you. It is a 1953 red Coleman lantern, and that's the 200A. So that's usually a good one. If you ever see the 200A, if you see it in red and it's a decent price and in good condition, pick it up. Sold for $89.95. Speaking of viewers, so 25 sales headed out of here. We're going to ship out of here today. There were 3 viewer sales, I believe, that left a comment. There may be some more in there. So I'm fully transparent about that. And I'm also transparent about the fact that if you were to set out to make a full-time living, oh boy, this is not going to be good. Pepper is up there, back there with the bubble wrap. I'm going to have to figure out a way to get her out without her knocking anything breakable up there. Yeah. God, Kramer. At any rate, this isn't the way you necessarily want to tackle it. The way I resell is a life decision. And I'll talk about that a little bit through here in just a second. But I'm going to pull this order, and then I'm going to read that comment to you. I pulled this poster down because you can't really see it while I'm walking with it. It's an Uncle Scrooge poster. Pretty awesome right there. That one sold for $24 plus shipping. Ship them in these tubes, or you can use the 4x4x28 boxes that I cut in half, and they'll fit in there as well. So I'm searching through my phone and I cannot find the screenshot that I swore I took. So I'm going to summarize the statement, and I'm not going to read the person's name because I don't remember it at this point. But I had said in the video about 20 hours a week and $50,000 net profit, entirely possible. I completely think it's entirely possible. It is not easy, and it takes dedication, it takes discipline, it takes some amount of knowledge, And most importantly, it takes a good source. But the comment said something like, anybody who says that they can work 20 hours a week at reselling and make $50,000 is a liar. And I'm like, So I obviously took that personally. So I'm going to offer that up to a lot of you out there throughout this video and get your comments. I'll touch on it here and there. But in the comments below, because this is not any kind of a brag thing, because there's a lot of people out there who work 20 hours a week and they make less than that, far less. Like maybe they make $20,000 a year working 20 hours a week. And it's still the right thing for them because it is a lifestyle choice and they actually enjoy the sourcing the way that they source. I could make more money if I sourced differently. I just choose not to, and I'm going to actually touch on that in a second. But how many of you out there work less than 20 hours a week at reselling and have made net profit more than $50,000 in a year? I'd love to know in the comments, and then that way I don't have to defend myself. You can be a liar too. Or maybe you would agree with this person. Maybe you don't think that's possible. I personally know people who do that. I'm gonna grab this one out of here. It's wrapped up. I'll show it to you. And I have personal experience with that multiple different years. And I suspect that this year will be just along those lines. And I'm not talking about YouTube resellers. I'm talking about resellers. And there will be people in the comments down below that will say exactly that. And they may give you numbers that you may not believe. But don't be so quick. I think the key is in sourcing. I know it is. Actually, this, I can't see the whole thing, obviously, but it is a Indiana glass fairy lamp. And in my 22 years of reselling, I've never sold one of these. Never sold a fairy lamp, which might blow some of your minds out there, but it's true. And this one, I think, sold for $25 plus shipping. I can't remember what I paid for it. Probably $5 is my guess. For me, and in the method that I choose and that I enjoy, I source for, on average, probably 5 hours a week. I almost never thrift. I rarely go out on Fridays, and if I do, it's for an hour or so. And Saturdays, I might go out for, I think it's in this drawer here, this G-Shock watch. And that little G-Shock watch I picked up for $1, I believe. And it sold for 48 bucks. No, 40. I better check. I wouldn't want somebody calling me out here. $48, yeah, plus shipping on that old G-Shock watch. And it took a while to sell, but I think I bought it in May, and it finally sold. So I basically source maybe 10 Fridays a year. I'll throw in a few Thursdays on these highway sales. And almost never do I source private picks, although I have this year probably more than ever, 2 or 3 times. And so you can throw that in there. But there's 15 months where I don't go out at all because it gets wintertime around here and there just isn't much to go around to. So I figure 5 hours average sourcing a week and then putting in 15 hours into selling things, into listing them. And that's what I do. And my numbers are out there. And it's up and down. Matter of fact, I've said this before. The last 90 days have been really slow. Well, slow in a sense. The sales have actually been good when the store's been running up. Everything's been up and all that's been going on. But I chose to go to these different events. I went to 5 different events this year. And that takes its toll. Plus, our family went on 2 vacations. So, you know, it is absolutely possible. I've run the numbers before. I think sourcing is the big key. There are a lot of people who spend 4 days a week at thrift stores and are there all day long. And in that case, maybe it's not quite as easy to get to that number with 20 hours a week. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying that as a criticism. There's a lot of people who just love to thrift. Plus, they're getting the added benefit of buying things on their own. They're buying things for their family that's saving them money. And I know a lot of us just sell in totally different ways. And one thing I've said is I hate selling shoes. I know I could make more money if I sold more shoes, if I looked for more shoes, if I cleaned shoes, if I displayed shoes right. I just am choosing not to. And I'm trying to get shoes that are around $50 in value before I sell them. That's what these Air Maxes went for. They sold for $49.95 plus shipping. The people that I know that make even far more than that, I know people that make net profit well over $100,000 a year. They do work more than 20 hours, but the common denominator in almost all of them is a consistent sourcing method that doesn't take a ton of time. Whether it be some kind of supply system or supplier or wholesaler or just a great connection that consistently provides lower price merchandise that has a high resale value. Those are the folks that I think I know do really, really well. I just choose not to go down that path because I absolutely love going to garage sales and finding things that I don't know I'm going to find. It is simply a lifestyle choice, and I think there's so many of you out there like us, or like me. $15, I think, for this Hogwarts purse plus shipping. I take it back, it's $16 plus shipping. So let me know out there. I'd love to hear your comments on this topic. And I certainly think saying somebody's a liar who makes that claim, it's not an outrageous claim. I know family members who work less than 20 hours a week who make $50,000 net profit. I think I even did the math on that video, and it's actually fairly easy math. 20 hours a week. Let's just say you take 2 weeks off for vacation. That's 1,000 hours a year. You make $50 an hour, you got $50,000. Now, that's not saying that's an easy task, and it takes organization, it takes discipline, it takes consistency, it takes a decent eye, or it takes, you don't even have to have a decent eye, you just need to have a consistent source. And I think it's very, well, not very easily done, but I think it is certainly possible, and I wouldn't call somebody a liar for it. So let me know in the comments. Jitsu. Motu character made in Taiwan. Not the highest price, but does have the weapon. And it's sold for $13 plus shipping. Let's give away some American Bubble Boy My Go-To tape. I think we still have 3 giveaways left. Blue-Eyed Picker is the winner for today. Send me an email at commonwealthpicker@gmail.com and we'll send you off a 6-pack of My Go-To tape. You can test it out. See what you think. Code Commonwealth and the American Bubble Boy link below should get you 5% off. Now this is one of those items, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I might put it over here in the chair. I used to sell a lot of Nerf stuff. Now I hardly ever do. Even though there is some good money to be made in some of it, it's not worth it to me as much as it used to be because I want that average dollar per hour to go up. And these take a little time. So matter of fact, there's a failure rate on them. There's a return rate that's higher than normal on them. And there is packaging time. That's not an easy packager right there. It's not impossible, but it was $3, and I knew I could get around 40 for it. I got $38 plus shipping. Let me tell you, I'd much rather. Let's say this sold for $58. I'd rather buy this over here for $1 and sell it for $48. That's well over $50 an hour. It's not even close. It's a 10-minute process on that guy. Not even. Probably more like 6. And that includes sourcing. This over here is going to be a much longer process. I have recently got into purses. That sounded weird. But the reason is if you buy them correctly and you don't buy projects, purses can be well over $50 an hour. I had to take this bin down, put it on the ground because I couldn't find it. And lo and behold, it was on top. So this bag right here, I paid $5. It sold for, if this is the right one, I remember from the right sale. It sold for $39.99 plus shipping. So, you know, after fees, after all that stuff, it's a really good margin on something. Not as good as that, obviously. Let's talk about margins in a minute. This one right here is fairly easy to ship. It's not the easiest, but as far as bags go, it's easy. I would put that in a box. I would not put that in a poly bag because it's just got too many harder parts to it. But it's well over $50 an hour as well. The next one I'm starting to have my doubts on. I used to sell it all the time. It used to go for a lot more money than it does now. I forgot to put this bin back up. And I'm starting to think maybe this one's not kind of going to reach my requirement. And it's the Deluxe Turntable Scrabble because I used to pay $5 for these and get 40 for them all day long. And they just don't go for that anymore. And there is labor involved, getting all the pieces out, making sure everything is there. Shipping this box is not that easy. It usually requires a much bigger box to Frankenbox, and this one is probably not a $50 an hour type item, even though I think I paid $1, sold for $22 plus shipping. Game's on? I'm coming. Was at a sale and picked up a bunch of new sealed DVD sets, and some of them were pretty good. There you go, old school stuff right here. Mr. Ed. I remember watching that. It wasn't one of my favorites, but it was interesting to watch him chewing that peanut butter to make him talk. Mr. Ed Complete Series sold for $25 plus shipping. Kind of settled going forward on Tupperware to keep it at $10 plus shipping or above. For the most part, I might waver a little. And these little shakers usually do about that, $10. But you got to double check and make sure they got that little wheel inside of it to make it work. $10 plus shipping. I bought a TI calculator, TI 84 Plus, and it was unfortunately, right after the back to school rush before we got it listed. You can usually squeeze a few more dollars out of those if you get them back to school. But you never know. Somebody probably lost it. And yeah, that's the one, the gray top. TI-84 Plus. This used to be the staple, the thing to find. They still do okay. Although the older ones, the TI-81s and stuff, don't do as good as they used to. At 42 bucks plus shipping. Bought a Cobalt battery charger last year at the 21 sale. And didn't dig it out of the death pile till recently, and it sold pretty quick. And it should be on top. I think this is it right here. 22 bucks. 22.95 maybe? Can't remember. Plus shipping on that charger. Next one is a Blackout Buddy. And we spent $5 on it at an estate sale, and they sell for $20 plus shipping, but we bought 3, so in that case I think it's well worth it. Should be close to maybe $45 profit when it's all said and done after all 3 are sold. Maybe a little bit more actually. Gotta do my math. Y'all can do the math in your head. Is that it right there? Yep, there's 3 of these right here. And that made it definitely doable. I probably would have done it for just the one, to be honest. I definitely would have. $5 into 20 plus shipping. This item right here, it's Freedom from One. It's a Rockwell print. I like that one over there. And we bought a bunch of these a long time ago. It's only $9.95 plus shipping. But there was so many of them, and they were dirt cheap, like pennies a piece. Maybe a penny, I can't remember. And since it's multi-quantity, definitely worth it to me. And I packaged those up in a record box that I don't fully flap over. So it's not too bad. The next one is a Dale Jr. shirt. It's not single stitch, 2004. It's not quite old enough, but it is new in the package. And Dale Jr. doesn't typically do great, but that one did okay. $16.99 plus shipping. And it went to Jordan. So Jordan, thank you. I love your YouTube channel. So glad I'm finally a customer. So am I. I appreciate it greatly. And I hope you enjoy this shirt. It's a nice one. Should be brand new in there. If there's an issue with it, let me know. We have not been selling a whole lot of clothing lately. But that shirt, and now a second one here in a row. This is, I don't even know where I got this from, unless I got it from Uncle Mark's stash, or Uncle John's stash that he got too big for, I think. And he's like, I'll just take it. He gave me a bunch of clothes. And this one right here, Vintage Italia, size large, preferred stock. So for $20, free shipping, which means this was one of the ones that we just left up. It was one of the 140 or so out of the 1,500 that we just left on eBay. That's free shipping. Sold a Family Guy item, and I'm going to go grab that. And we have decided, this wasn't the video I was going to talk about this in actually, but I'm going to say this. We have decided through this winter we are going to do a few Whatnot shows. And it has a big part to do with a goal that we have. 2-part goal, one by January 1st and one by March 1st, which I'm going to talk about in a later video. Which is probably good, because I've talked quite a bit about all kinds of stuff this video. And we still have a bunch more sales. Well, not a bunch, but we got a few. And this Family Guy, if I can find the right one, I can't remember what it's called. So, give me a minute. Alright, I found it. It's Chillin' and Grillin' Peter. Jeez. And that one sold for $25 plus shipping. But the reason I brought that up is that we have decided one of the things we're going to do is just absolutely blow out all of that Family Guy stuff that was not the original stuff we listed. We still had piles and piles of it in there. So we are doing a Whatnot show. I don't have the date. Can't remember what it is. 7/1 May or 7/1/10. I don't know what it is. I'm going to put it right here. You can check that out. And we are doing that show. And we're going to schedule at least 2 a month, I think, through the winter. And just have a good time doing it. I'm not terribly concerned about trying to get high prices and whatever. $1 starts. I love to people get deals and just go on there and have a good time. We still do have that link for first timers down below. And a lot of people, since we have decided that if people go over there and all they want to do is buy the merch, they can get it essentially for free or at least $15 off if they want to go over there and buy it. And I figured, what the heck, it's a win-win. And so that merch is going to be over there, as well as at CommonwealthPicker.com. Reagan has some announcements on some new stuff she's got going, and of course our traditional Christmas stuff. So keep your eyes open. I hear my wife out there. It's a little Barney lot right here. Whoop. And I had it listed for $49, and it took a long time to sell. 2 plush, a jacket. How cool is that? I think we could have done better just independently, but it did have some issues. 1993 jacket, a little Barney hat, couple of plush, And we sold it for $35 plus shipping. Sold a Teen Wolf 2 mask. And again, we've talked about $15 or higher on most types of items. And that's not this. It's $9.45 plus shipping. However, you'll see it's multi-quantity. I have no problem selling some for $5 if it's got a big enough quantity. Plus shipping, of course. Teen Wolf 2 mask, $9.45 plus shipping. That also goes in one of the record boxes. Only have one more of the peanut Christmas clings. And they were $1. Sold for $13, 45 cents plus shipping, something like that. Pain in the butt to package up, though. I'm so glad there's only one more. Kind of sad this one's gone. This Asteroids vintage mini arcade game. I paid $1 for it. It didn't go for much. $10.79 plus shipping. And I just saw that I forgot the other viewer sale. So let me read this one. Y'all like Asteroids growing up? Or maybe you're far too young for that. Or maybe too old. I don't know. Any rate, that one went to... Let me read the Cling one first. Dustin. Hey, really enjoy your videos. My wife is going... Come on in.
Hurry this up. I'm tired. Now I gotta ship all of it.
You've got to ship most of it. Some of it you're gonna protest. I have a feeling. You want to read this? You want to read a comment? Right here.
I need my glasses. We really enjoy your videos. My wife is going to use this in her classroom. We hope you and your family.
Man, you're
has
blind.
a blessed day. No,
have a blessed day.
That's not what it says.
Well, you're supposed to read it the right
teacher
way.
Wife
Dustin's probably mad at you.
It's all right, Dustin. I hope your wife's the English teacher. Read this one too.
Yeah,
A follower, subscriber.
/ subscriber. Just say a follower.
I'm so tired. And enjoy. What? These people can't.
Oh my gosh. This was a huge mistake.
I love you, Norman.
How about this? Just read
Enjoy your presentations. Probably many watch, but few are subscribed. Surprising that anybody watches too. It might be because it is easy to watch on TV where we cannot subscribe.
Hey, this is a great comment. This person's awesome and you're butchering it.
I'm so tired.
Listen, there's a follower / subscriber.
The time to go to the internet and subscribe, hoping the best for you.
They're trying to help out.
Norman, these people are tired. They ain't got time to be subscribing.
Listen, he's trying to say here.
Here it is. This dog is bad. Well, you are a bad dog.
I think you get the point. She's filibustering here. Thank you for taking the time to go from your TV to your computer or your phone to subscribe. Thank you, Norman
and Dustin. I'm sorry, I can't read tonight.
Anyway, we appreciate you. I hope you enjoy the game. Hey, all decided we'd give the kids the night off. Both have been a little under the weather. My wife shipped all of that except for one thing. Got to give her credit. And here's what she left for me. All the fun stuff. Although that's not that hard. She could have done that. But you know what? I appreciate her a lot. So I'm going to pack all this stuff up and I'm going to get out of here. And as always, we appreciate you stopping by. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you watching. I can't wait to see you next time.